Arvest Bank is pleased to bring you the Legends Series, where we focus on individuals who are committed to their communities, much like Arvest.
Hello, I'm Mary Ellen Phelan, and this is SBJ Live's Legends Series. In this series, we talk to business people who have a lot of wisdom to share with you, our viewers. Today, we're here with Bob Heil, the founder and chief inventor with Heil Sound. Thank you so much for being here today, Bob.
Well, thanks for having me. It's really great to be here. And the company is not here, but I am.
Exactly.
And Springfield just means a big part to my life. My wife, who owns Heil Sound, was born here. And when we got together back in '96, we started coming down here to visit her mother, who had moved back here, and I fell in love with Springfield. I've been in cities all over the globe. This is it. It's the best kept secret, but she keeps telling me, don't tell too many people, because she had to sign a lot of paperwork to get me in here. We love it.
You've had quite the journey to Springfield, Missouri. You started out at the age of 14 playing organ at the Fox Theater. Yep. You reclaimed some speakers from the Fox Theater, and along the way you started an organ business in Illinois, and then you got a fortuitous call from...
Yes, well, the situation was that I was playing the organ. I'm a protege of Stan Can. He's a very famous theater organist, and he passed away a few years ago. We miss him dearly. I was his only student, and I was his substitute organist at the Fox. What was so important about that, I was 15 years old, and we had to voice and tune thousands of pipes from 1 inch to 32 foot. Now, tuning is not a big deal, but voicing is. It's an art of making sure all the harmonics are the same throughout all of the different pipes. Stanley taught me that. Stan was the one that pointed me to how you listen, and a lot of people don't listen, they just hear. That's a physical process. Listening is the art of mentally dissecting what you hear, all of the little nuances and so on. And I didn't realize, of course, that later on it was going to be a very strong part of my other career. But I played for those years. I got tired of playing 6 nights a week and all that. So I went back to my hometown of Marissa, Illinois, a little town of cold town, 50 miles south of St. Louis. And I acquired a Hammond organ franchise. It was pretty rare. Still don't know how that happened, but I was lucky, I guess. But I became a Hammond organ dealer. And in 1965, 66, 67, everybody had to have a Hammond organ. Whether they played or not, it was like a vase, like a plant. It's like a lot of people have pianos in their house today and nobody plays. It's an ornament. I sold a lot of organs in those days, but then I started renting them to the promoters that would bring entertainment acts into Kiel Auditorium in St. Louis, because nobody would rent them. My gosh, these are guys that have long hair and they're just, no, they were wonderful people, great artists. And at one time, one of the managers said, how would you like to take that PA that you had built on the road with me? Well, I had built this PA he was using from speakers that were thrown out from the Fox. They were putting in a new sound system, and they had taken these large speakers. These are huge speakers. Had 4 of them, and they had them out in the alley, and the right day, I drove by to see George Bales, who was the stagehand that used to bring the organ up and down, and I was playing there. I said, what are you doing with all this? He said, oh, we're throwing that away. We've got a new sound system. I said, whoa, I'm a ham radio operator. I have been since I was a young 15 years old, and you don't throw anything away. So I took those speakers and built this enormous, to me, big hi-fi system, because I really wasn't involved in the rock scene or any of that. But I was renting organs to them and learning that, wow, and Ted Nugent or Jimi Hendrix or Janis Joplin would come to St. Louis, the PA was terrible. So I started renting this monstrous PA. Didn't know that no one else had really never done that. And there was this ham radio in me that could do that. And there again, the Fox played the second part in my life. Then you fast forward to that wonderful event where the manager said to me, "Would you like to take this on tour? We need your Hammond organ and the speakers. I got a little band out in Ohio." And well, I'd never been on tour, but a couple of guys that I had that did the road work with me. We took off to Ohio, and that band was Joe Walsh and the James Gang. Now, about 2 shows into this little tour, Joe and I found out we were both ham radio operators. The whole friendship immediately changed because he was very technical and he wanted to do things, but he never had anybody that could understand what he meant.
Like the individuals highlighted in the Legends series, Arvest Bank is committed to our community. Click on the link below to find out ways that you can engage with us to help make Springfield great.